Chapter 2. The first time I met him. What a noble elegance. I want to keep my distance. After I ended everything with my ex-boyfriend, I returned to my town, and I was determined to start anew. I decided to meet new people from a travel app that I was using most of the time. I looked for girls that I could meet and connect with within the town. Luckily, I found one. Her name is Anna. I sent her a message, and she replied that she would be happy to meet me. We established a meeting place and time. We met in a bar. She was so lovely as a person. We talked about some personal things, and I even opened up about my breakup with my ex-boyfriend. The owner of the bar was also a very accommodating person. A few minutes later, she told me that one of her friends asked her if she could go with him to the mall to eat. She asked me if it was okay for me to join them or he would join us. I was good with either. I definitely welcomed everyone, especially when I was new in town. I could talk to anyone who wanted to speak to me. Not long after, Anna told me her friend had arrived and was waiting in the car. We went outside to meet him. Anna sat in front. And when I opened the car's door in the back seat, I saw a lot of stuff. It was so messy. I said my greeting and introduced myself anyway. He did the same. It was nighttime already, so I couldn't see his face clearly. While we're on our way to the mall, I was looking at him in the rearview mirror. I wanted to defend myself now by saying I wasn't interested. I knew at that time that part of me still wanted to get back with my ex. Most importantly, I had that moment of life where I could no longer feel excited about dating. Before that meeting, I was in another town, and I went on dates. I stopped because I couldn't feel anything anymore. Even if I was in front of a good-looking guy, I just couldn't feel interested, even in a conversation. I knew it for sure that it wasn't because I was still emotionally attached to my ex. There was just really something in me that made my heart so grounded. I was so numbed for months that I kept crying about it. I didn't want the feeling because I wanted to feel excited to engage in dating again. In short, I tried to open my heart again without me forcing it. There are times when we feel like romance is done with us until someone comes and makes us realize that its mystery is just about to begin. When we arrived at the mall, we went directly to the food court. We ordered our food, and we sat at the table. I was sitting in front of him. Anna asked us to be excused as she wanted to go to the toilet. When Anna left, I didn't want any silence to take over. So, I asked him about his job. Well, I didn't ask that because I was interested in him. It wasn't a date after all. I just unconsciously thought that it would be a good start to know someone since we lived in the same town. Then he told me that he's a lawyer. When Anna came back, the conversation went on, and I liked it so much. He also told me that he was also using the travel app, which Anna already told me beforehand. She told me when we were still in the bar that her friend was coming. Then she told me some things about him and their friendship. Finally, I spoke to smart individuals. Anna is definitely an intelligent person, and the lawyer is absolutely amazing. I love how he speaks English and how he handles conversations. The next thing we knew, we were already walking to the parking lot. I took a glance at him, and I said, "You are very tall." He's indeed very tall. And I liked the way he walked. Then, they dropped me off to my place. I said my thanks and goodbye. Days passed by, and I received a message from Anna. She told me that the lawyer wanted to ask my number because he found a driving school. This was because I really wanted to learn to drive. I mentioned it to them when we met the first time, and he told me that he would help me find a driving school. However, I forgot about it already because we didn't have any contact afterwards. I told Anna it was okay. I saw respect and decency in Anna and her friend's approach. He could have asked my number in the mall, or Anna could have given it to him directly, knowing that we already talked about it. Most importantly, I appreciated the fact that he really took time to find a driving school for a stranger like me. He sent me a message later on that he would come with me to the driving school. We decided to meet the day after that. The driving lesson, at noon, he sent me a message asking if I was ready to go. Well, I wasn't ready yet. He asked me if he needed to pick me up from my place, but I said I would be fine on foot. I was late in meeting him. He was already waiting there for me. When I got closer to his car, he jumped out of it, and I saw an elegant lawyer in front of me. Just by looking at him made me respect him by all means. We talked with a staff member in the driving school, and he dropped me off in the parking lot near the immigration office. He told me that if I couldn't manage to understand the immigration officer, I could always call him. When I finished my work hours, I called and told him about what the immigration officer told me. I went there because I picked up my new residence permit. The driving school asked me for a document from the immigration office, so I requested it also. But the immigration officer told me that I needed an application form for me to get it. The lawyer replied that he would do it for me when I would be ready for the lesson. My ex-boyfriend's graduation day, days went on, and I was still crying from time to time. My tears spoke about my numb heart. I kept telling my friends and my sister that I really wanted the numbness to stop. I wanted to go on with life. What if I would stay forever like that? How would I find someone again? I wanted to get married. I wanted a family. I had to let my heart beat again. I was in the mall after work when I received a message from the lawyer. He asked me if I would like to go to the mall to eat. I told him I was there. I waited for him in the food court. When I turned my gaze to the hallway after a few minutes, I saw that noble, elegant lawyer again coming towards me. I really liked how he walked. I couldn't talk more because of the amazement that I was with such kind of person. I accompanied him to eat. I just sat down in front of him, and we talked. When he was about to drop me home, he said that his friends asked him to come over to their place. He asked me if I would like to join. I said yes, just because I couldn't say no to a gentleman. There, I met Ella and Ryan, two very cool people. We talked a lot until I found myself scrolling on Facebook, and I found out that it was the graduation day of my ex-boyfriend. I didn't feel good anymore. So, I asked him if we could go home already. When he dropped me off at my place, I just cried myself out. I was still affected knowing that my ex graduated already and how I wished I was there to celebrate his success. Activities in the park. I was at school when I received a message from the lawyer. He told me that we would go to the park to do slackline walking. I knew I wouldn't feel anything much about it because I just wanted to go home and be sad about my ex. But of course, I couldn't say no to him. When I tried slackline walking the very first time, the lawyer guided me. He held my hand until I finished it. I was so loud. We did other activities also. We stayed in the park for hours, and it was the first time I saw Leo, a friend of theirs. We didn't talk much because he was doing his thing from another side. When the mosquitoes were about to finish my blood, we went to Ella's place. As usual, we talked a lot about some things. We even planned to go to the cave and climb on a barrel. The start of summer, I was chilling beside the pool at my residence when I received a message from the lawyer. During that time, I was in pain because I already found out that my ex-boyfriend cheated on me in the first month of our relationship. So, I totally ended my contact with him. He asked me if I wanted to go to the mall to eat as usual. Again, I couldn't say no. So, we went to the mall, ate and discussed different topics before he dropped me off at home. Shortly before I alighted, he told me that they would go camping and I was welcome to join them. I told him that I would think about it as I had to go to another town for a friend's wedding. We said our goodbyes, and I cried again at home. The day my washing machine was broken, the following day, I was washing my clothes with my own hands because my washing machine was broken. Then, I received a message from the lawyer saying, "We didn't go camping. I want to have a movie tonight. Would you like to join me?" I responded to him without thinking of anything. I told him I couldn't because I had to go to another town the day after because of the wedding. Maybe another time would give us a chance. So, I had to do my laundry that day, and I was doing it with my hands. He told me that I didn't have to put in a lot of effort, for I could use the washing machine in his apartment. I accepted his offer because I really needed it. We had some conversations, and I went back to do my laundry again. The first time I entered his place, it was evening when he took me from my place. I brought my laundry to his apartment. I was amazed at how clean his place was. He offered me wine, but I turned it down. We talked while we were waiting for my laundry to finish. When I went inside the toilet, I saw a feminine product. It was then I realized that he was with someone. All his kind gestures and treatment towards me were just because of his kindness. My first walk with the lawyer, it was another weekend when I received a message from him about doing my laundry at his place again. He picked me up from my place, and when we got to his place, he just asked me, "Do you want to go for a walk?" As always, I couldn't say no to him. But honestly, I didn't really want to go for a walk at that time. I just forced myself to do it. As we proceed with the walk, he started sharing his love life, and when he was done, he asked about mine. At the back of my mind, I was like, "So I don't have a choice now just because you shared to me some things about your love life." But of course, I started telling him about mine too. When we got back to his place, the laundry wasn't finished yet. So, He asked me if I wanted to go with him to the tennis court. I had to say no just because I wanted to finally say no already after saying yes to a walk. At the back of my mind, I was like, so I don't have a choice now just because you shared to me some things about your love life. But of course, I started telling him about mine too. When we got back to his place, the laundry wasn't finished yet. So, he asked me if I wanted to go with him to the tennis court. I had to say no just because I wanted to finally say no already after saying yes to a walk. Hours after, he came back to his place. I was still there. Then, I received a message from a friend of mine about my ex. It was the full details of how he cheated on me when we were together. I felt bad. He noticed it and he asked what was going on. I told him I just had to go home. So, I waited for the laundry and went directly home for me to get my emotions to subside. If love only comes with a notice, we won't have to suffer for the wrong reason. If love only comes with a name, we won't have to look far beyond in front of us.